Hi, I have a book review for you today, but I'm going to Goodreads because it's called Just the Two of Us. Now, the release date for this book is April 12th by Forever. But when I started to go to Goodreads, I pulled up a different cover. And the reason why is it came out in July from Platkus. I'm not truly familiar with that publisher. So this is either a reprint or because it was first published in July 2020, but it also has this edition that's being published by Forever. Okay? Now, what's Just the Two of Us about? 34 years is how long Julie and Michael have been married. It's kind of funny because I have a sister named Julie and a brother named Michael. They have been married for 34 years. They have 3 children, and their children are all out of the home, so now we have an empty nest. They aren't a happily married couple by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, they live more like roommates or housemates than they do as married couples. And Julie is so unhappy that she visits a divorce attorney. And sorry, I'm just letting a call go on my watch. Julie visits a divorce attorney and even has divorce papers drawn up. She has them. I wish I had an envelope handy, but let's just pretend that this is an envelope. She's carrying around this envelope of these divorce papers, right? And she's ready to give them to Michael. But something happens. It's called the pandemic. You know, that thing that none of us remember. Yeah. And they live in the UK. So guess what? They have a strict lockdown. Like here in America, different parts of the United States, there were like lots and lots of guidelines. But where Julie and Michael lived, it was a strict lockdown. So now she's in this house, one-on-one with the man that she's ready to divorce. Now, guess what? Happily ever after seemed right out the window, right? Well, what's going to happen now? Will they be able to regain that spark? And if they can regain that spark, what will happen to make that spark worth being lit again? Now, second chance romance, because I saw a question on Twitter yesterday, what is your favorite romance trope? My favorite romance trope is second chance or friends to lovers, okay? Second chance is one of my favorite tropes. So this is not your typical second chance romance, because your typical second chance romance, you have, say, 2 high school sweethearts who haven't seen each other in 20 years. Well, guess what? These high school sweethearts have been living together for 34 years. So it's still a second chance romance because it's just the 2 of them. That's the name of the book, Just the Two of Us. I'm so glad Forever released this, and I think I have the print copy in my other room. I should have grabbed it. But I read it as I got it as an audiobook through Hachette Audio. But I'm so glad that I got this book because it was such a very, very, very emotionally balanced book. It gave you feelings of sadness. It gave you feelings, I'm just trying to bring up who the narrator is. It gave you feelings of sadness. It gave you feelings of hope. It gave you feelings of frustration. It gave you all of those things. But it looks like I have to go to Google. Because since I had this as an audiobook, it's only fair that I tell you who the narrator was. Oh, I have 4 Audible credits. I must have just paid for one. Just the Two of Us. Our narrator was, there were 2 narrators, Harriet Fraser and Alex Hyde White. Very, very, very good book. I'm so glad I got it as an audiobook because I have so many print arcs that I'll never get to them all, so I may not have gotten to this one. But when I saw it come up in the Hachette audio, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to listen to this. And I'm so glad I did. It was a really good book, quick read. It was only an 8-hour audiobook, so at 2-speed, it was just a 4-hour read for me. But I loved it. I really did. I think that the author did a great job of making our couple somebody that we can relate to. Because like in my case, I've been married for 40 years. I don't have an empty nest though, because we have a 4-bedroom apartment and there's always 1 or 2 adult children living with us. And in this case, we still have 2. And if something would happen and they got their own place, we'd probably still never be an empty nest. But how many couples are empty nests? And how many couples have lost that spark? Well, when you read this book, you'll see what it was that relit the spark with Julie and Michael. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.